Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another predictions video, and in today's video I'm going to be predicting the Malajika versus Munoz fight. If you're new around here though and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need a like video, and let's get straight into it. So, going into this fight, Munoz is 16-1 with 6 KOs, and Malajika is 11-2 with 9 KOs. This fight is for the vacant IBO World Super Flyweight title. Malajika's last fight was a win via TKO in round 5 versus Larasan, and Munoz's last fight was a win via unanimous decision versus Arias. This is in Malajika's home country of South Africa. Munoz's loss came via Malajika's losses have come versus Kothal in 2022 and Gabinyana in 2021, and Munoz's loss came via TKO in round 5 versus Aquino in 2021. This is both their first 12 round fights, and so it's a step up realistically for both. Maybe not a step up realistically in opponents for Munoz, because Arias was a tough fight last time out, but still, either way, it's both their first 12 round fight, and so it will of course play a part on how they perform, because we've not seen them fight for this long before, and if it goes the whole distance, how they're going to be going, and it'll be interesting to see. Of course, Malajika in his home country is going to have that little bit of a back-in. He's coming off of an impressive victory versus Larasan. It was a convincing victory. It was a dominant victory, and Munoz last fight was a good unanimous decision win as well. So both coming off decent performances. Malajika as a fighter, he's powerful, he's fast, aggressive. He will pretty much run through his opponents. Got high output, quite overwhelming. Will land pretty much, he will land. It's pretty much assertive that he will land. Finds the target quite well. Doesn't really let you breathe. Kind of relentless, and does control the center well. He's somebody which is an interesting fighter to watch. I don't know how much his style is gonna benefit him against some of the best, but it's a tough style to fight against for anybody, and it's just a bit of a different one, just kind of sprinting in towards you and overwhelming you with pressure and just not really letting it go is going to be interesting. It's also going to be interesting how it sees with him being in a 12 round. If it does go later rounds, if he can still put on that pressure and still be fighting at such a high pace and pushing the pace as well. His negatives, he's got little to no guard. He kind of runs in head first as well. He's reckless, he's wild, not really been on the back foot much, so if possibly he does get put on it, if that will play a factor, don't know if he will, to be honest. He does headhunt a bit. He's more than open to counters, and he, like I said, may not be ready for 12 rounds, may not be made for 12 rounds, and the fact that he is quite open to most shots means that a good technical counterpuncher could make it a difficult night for Malajika. But is Munoz that? I don't know. Let's speak about him. So he's accurate, composed, picks his shots quite well. He likes to fight on the outside of the ring. He's got good movement, mid-range type fighter, got a good jab, good head movement. Technical fighter, finds gaps quite well, finds angles well. It's a good technical fighter. He, of course, fights on the outside of the ring, but he's not overly a counter puncher. He doesn't fight amazing on the inside, but he is that more mid-range and does have a very good jab and will pop you with that jab, and it is impressive that, and does set up a lot of shots from them, as well as a good body shot uppercut. That's nice as well. I just don't know if he's a counter puncher enough, and because he does like to fight in the mid range, if he does get into the close range, I feel like he could do well, but I also feel like he might, he's composed, but if he's not really experienced being under that much pressure before, then he could possibly struggle. Not sure yet. Negatives, can get trapped in the corner a little bit, but I don't know if Malajika is really going to be able to do that. Possibly, but if it is, I feel like it might just be a bit of luck, to be honest. He's not, like I said, not used to being under pressure quite as much. I wouldn't say he's overly powerful. I watched a couple of his fights, and there's been shots that he's landing, and they're good, clean shots, and maybe it's just his tough journeyman opponents he's facing, but they really aren't affecting them, and so maybe it's just one of the cases where they're clean because they're landing, because the opponent isn't really covering up much, but they aren't actually doing much to them. I don't know if that's the case or not, but either way. He can counter better, I would say. He could definitely use countering better than what he does, and definitely should, but I just don't know if he does have it in him. He has a bit of an open guard as well. He will sit at range sometimes a bit too long, and he has to throw punches in bunches. Sometimes he will just stick to the one shot at a time, and that can work for a certain amount of time, but sometimes you do need to up the tempo. And when he does up the tempo and throw in bunches, it's nice and impressive, and it's good technical boxing, and he just needs to do that a bit more often. Munoz is the favourite for this fight, and I think that Malajika will win via TKO in round 3. If this goes to decision, I think Munoz is going to win, but I think Malajika has a chance to overwhelm Munoz and just really put the pressure on him, really make it difficult for him and make it a little bit of a tough night. I think he could possibly be underestimating Munoz, but I don't know. But he could definitely flip the score, go against the odds and beat the odds of Malajika. And if he just pushes the pressure, pushes the tempo, I mean, he'll have the crowd behind him. And if he just goes from the get-go, he might. I don't know if he's gonna get caught with many counters. It could panic Munoz in the inside, and I think he could find success and get an early TKO. But like I said, if it goes to the later rounds, I think Munoz might have it. But for the moment, I'm going to go with Malajika. Round 3, TKO win. Then where's he go on to? Interesting. I don't really know. I kind of looked around where he's been ranked. He's only really been ranked by one body. I believe it's the IBF. Gonzalez is a fight. Cortez versus Nakatani. The winner, don't know. Maybe the loser, possibly. A big South African kind of matchup would be, I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right, Gexke, Ngxeke. I don't know, I couldn't pronounce it right, I apologise, but that's a big South African matchup, both in a similar weight division, both ranked similarly. Could be a big one for the RBO title, but that's realistically, there's not huge fights after this, and I feel like maybe he's due 1 or 2 more before he does get one of the big fights in the division, realistically. But the IBO title is always one which is nice to start off with and get early on. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy. Like if you didn't, like this, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.